Today we are going to talk about my recent reads, what I'm in the middle of, and what we're going to get into. All right, so I feel like I've been into this book for quite a minute now. We are still in the middle of Black House by Stephen King and Peter Straub, although I'm a lot further. I am getting close. We're getting close to the end. So I've been enjoying this quite a bit so far. It's weird. The characters are great. Henry Lyden, I think, might be my favorite so far. We are getting closer to catching the bad guy, hopefully, and saving this one kid. But we'll see what happens. I don't really know. So, The Black House is the second book of the Talisman trilogy. The third book in the Talisman trilogy comes out this year in October, so I wanted to make my way through this so I can get that one and see where that goes. There is a lot going on with this that ties in with the Dark Tower series. If you've read that, one of my favorite fantasy series ever, you'll get some of like the talk of the tower, the beams, the Crimson King, flipping over into the territories where all this stuff happens. There's actually mention of Roland and the gunslingers. Having that tie-in, that was another one of the reasons I wanted to get into the Talisman. Like, in theory, all King's books tie into the Dark Tower. Some more than others. And this one is very obvious of how it's tying in. So I'm thinking I'll finish this probably by mid next week, I would think. And then we'll have a standalone review for this one as well. Another one that I'm in the middle of is The Found Objects Society by Michelle Merrick. Sorry, this is very shiny. There is this society that is underground. No one really knows about it. You can't really find too much info about it. The only way to get an invite is it randomly has to be sent to you. That's all I know so far, because I'm not too far into this one. The Object Society, all the objects that are stored in this like warehouse type place, is different artifacts and such from different places across the globe and different time frames. And when you pick it up, you go on a journey of sorts, like when you pick up one of these objects, and you travel through time and space basically, and you see the last moments of someone's death that is attached to this object. And so our main character, she harbors all this guilt because her parents had died when she was younger. They were all in an accident. She was there, but she didn't die. So she has this like weird guilt. And then she's tested her mortality ever since. There's one night she gets all wasted and she almost like smashes into a tree when she's drunk, but she misses it by like this much. And then when she gets home, she finds this like white blank card that was like slipped into her door. And at first she's like, doesn't see anything on it. But then like when she has her phone over it, there's a QR code, and that like she scans that and it sets off this whole thing. Right now I'm only at the part where she's going to an interview to join this society to see if she's a good candidate or not, which obviously she probably will be, because if not, there wouldn't be a story. So far it's pretty intriguing. I will say I don't quite like the main character currently. So I'm hoping maybe she'll grow on me, because I don't want this to turn into a DNF, because the story and the synopsis sounds great, but I'm not liking the main character. She's kind of a a-hole. So we'll see. Okay, so not that long ago, I had read a book by John Mars called Dead in the Water, and it was honestly one of the most disturbing books that I've read in a really long time. And so I was a little leery to try any of his books again, but it was such a page turner that it still made me want to try his books. And a lot of you in the comments said not all of them are that horribly disturbing. And what disturbed me the most in that was just how the main character wanted to die over and over again to try to solve his problems, and which only made more problems. So anyway, we're going to try again. This one was recommended to me, and that is When You Disappeared. So we're gonna try John Mars again, because like I said, it was such a page turner. I couldn't put it down, even with how disturbing it was. Like, I flew through it. Like, this would be a good like summertime beachy author, because like it's one of those ones that you're just like page after page after page. Darcy Coates is an author like that for me too. Even when her books aren't amazing, they're still keeping me turning pages. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this guy is probably kind of that same way. So let me tell you what this one is about. All she wanted was the truth, but she's going to wish she never found out. When Catherine wakes up alone one morning, she thinks that her husband has gone for a run before work. But Simon never makes it to the office. His running shoes are by the front door. Nothing is missing except him. Catherine knows Simon must be in trouble. He wouldn't just leave her. He wouldn't leave the children. Would he though? We don't know this. We don't know. You never know. But Simon knows the truth about why he left and what he's done. He knows things about his marriage that it would kill Catherine to find out. The memories she holds onto are lies. I mean, he could have just divorced her. That could have, instead of just going into hiding. I mean, anyways. While Catherine faces a dark new reality at home, Simon's halfway around the world, alive and thriving. He's doing whatever it takes to stay one step ahead of the truth. But he can't hide forever. And when he reappears 25 years later, Catherine will finally learn who he is and wish she'd stayed in the dark. Dun dun dun. So this sounds intriguing. But yeah, like if he knew it would tear them apart, just divorce her. Don't leave her hanging. That's probably worse. Anyway, so we'll see how this one goes. All right, so after this one, this is what we'll call a random sin radar, my book dar, a sin vibe book. I saw this at the library, Honeysuckle by Bar Fridman Tell. The cover kind of pulled me in. Sorry, it's very shiny. I don't know if you can get a good view of that. Okay, and then the story. I read the synopsis. I thought it sounded interesting, so I like to do that when I go to the library. You know, look at the cover. It looks kind of cool. Has a vibe I might like. Then we read the synopsis, and then we take it from there. Once upon a time, on the edge between meadow and forest, there was a lonely child with only his older sister for company. In exchange for being left in peace, his sister made him a playmate, Day, a girl woven from flowers and words. And for the first time, this boy Rory had a friend. Rory couldn't be happier until he learns that Day is a short-lived creature. At the end of each season, she must be woven back together or fall gruesomely apart. And every time Day falls apart might be her last. As Rory and Day grow older and the line between friendship and romance begins to blur, Rory becomes desperate to break the cycle of bloom and decay. But the further Rory pushes his research and experiments to lengthen Day's existence, the more Day begins to wonder just how much control she really has over her own life. And this says it's as a loose reimagining of the story of, I don't know how to say Welsh words, and this is Blodawyd. I'm probably saying that really wrong. Blodawyd, from Welsh mythology. I thought that sounded quite interesting and dark and weird. We'll let you know how this one goes. All right, as for what I'm most excited for, I'm most excited to get back into the Black House because it's got these kind of weird, a little bit like Twin Peaks sort of vibe going on with it. It's weird, it's paranormal, it is odd. I really like the characters in it. It's gruesome, it's effed up, and yeah, super excited for that. I think I might have maybe like 100 or 200 pages left in there. That one was quite a beast. What have you been getting into recently? Let me know. I am always curious. Do you have any favorite, like, summertime reads that are horror or fantasy? And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.